This is a special edition of E&P Reports, a service of Editor and Publisher magazine. Since 1884, the authoritative voice of news publishing. Greetings once again, Mike Blinder, publisher of E&P magazine. And I do say this is a special edition of E&P Reports because we're devoting it totally to unsung heroes in our industry. Operations, production, the guys and gals that work late at night, keep those presses running, keep ink on the paper, but go beyond that. Help us save money, keep our operations going. When floods and disasters happen, figure out the most innovative ways to keep doing our job, getting our product out and getting that information to our community. You likely know that E&P has teamed up with ING, the International Newspaper Group, and recently awarded 2 Operations All-Stars, the best in the industry, from those that nominated them. But we decided we'd also like to focus on some of the nominees as well, so they could tell their stories. So to tell a little bit more about why we're doing this, let me introduce you to a good friend of mine, colleague, and the partner of this endeavor, Mark Hall, ING President and Regional Manufacturing Director of Post Media up in Canada. Mark?
So the All-Stars is, we wanted to see the recognition, the spotlight put on the operations, production, distribution side of the business. Because like many others in our industry, the editors, the publishers, and the reporters and photographers, they all get to get their names up on the billboards and the recognitions and everything. And we felt it's high time that the unsung heroes in our industry actually get an opportunity to be highlighted, to be nominated, and it's been really encouraging to see the depth and capabilities of so many people that were nominated. And from what we're going to see here, and it's a reflection not only on the winners and the recipients of the ING awards, but also for those people that nominated them. You know, it takes a special insight and it takes a recognition to put somebody's name forward. So, you know, I just wanted to recognize you guys and appreciate everything that you've done. And everybody else that's in support of these guys, I think you need to look at them and say thank you, not only for your organization, but for the industry as a whole, because as you know, everyone is going through a really tough time with this COVID and changing business models, restructuring and all of that. And it takes the skills of you guys to navigate through that. So congratulations, guys.
Thanks, Mark. So let's do this now. Let's take our tour to various newspapers and press facilities around North America as we let you meet some of the ING E&P Operations All-Star nominees of 2020.
How's everybody doing today?
Hey.
Obviously, I'm Rob Weber. I've been in newspapers for 25 years, and most of it has been in the operations side of the house. I started in the IT department as the manager and then moved into operations overall. I've been with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette for almost 8 years now. And I, you brought up a good point about the fact of change that has been going on. And it just didn't start, obviously, with COVID-19. From an operations standpoint, we have been changing on the backside of this industry for the last 8 years, to say the least, especially in Pittsburgh. We thought we were going to be the last ones to install a brand new printing facility as we were making major changes from our old facility and our old letterpress Flexo combo that we had and going offset. And that went live in September of 2014. And I can say this, that ever since that point, we have had rapid change going on the operations side. Unfortunately, not all of it has been that easy as a lot of us are managing volume decline and at the same time trying to bring in additional revenue to keep that side of the house moving with our employees. But to that point, I appreciate everybody talking about me being an all-star, but it really takes a village to make this happen on a nightly basis. And that comes from all the great employees that I have working with me day and night, through the daylight, through the nighttime, and through the weekends. And that also goes out to my counterparts, the directors that I work with, Bill certainly being one, Allison being here, and Tracy and Flo and all the other ones, to allow us on the operations side, even though sometimes they may not understand what we're saying when we're at the table with them. I do believe that they have faith in the fact that we know what we're doing. And a lot of it just comes out by the fact of whether a print edition is sitting on their doorstep or the digital edition has made it to their inbox. So, with that being said, I can't say enough about the team that I've been working with, and it has made my job a lot easier, especially in these challenging times that we have in the past, currently, and as we move forward in this industry with massive consolidation going on every time we blink an eye.
Well, I'm very honored to be nominated, but I'm pretty sure there's some well-deserving people that deserves it more than I do. I just do my job and something I love. But I got some good people that I work for that works with me.
Yep. Dwayne?
Junior is, I guess he's been in this business 30 plus years. He's just a major asset. We're small paper. We do a lot of printing, a lot of outside printing, and he's just kind of my guy. Can always count on him, not just from a press standpoint. He manages the mailroom. We do every paper we print. We handle their mailroom duties as far as labeling, inserting. He manages that. Kind of a big deal for us is high school football Friday nights. It's a madhouse. We're doing like 5 papers that all have to meet postal deadlines by 6 in the morning, and he just makes it successful.
So are we keeping him up, or is he just ending his shift?
No, he's good. He's good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
But he, and like I say, outside of the press mailroom, I mean, he's kind of our do-it-all guy. If we have a problem anywhere, changing light bulbs or fixing this, fixing that, I mean, he's just rock solid.
The world you live in, William, and everyone on the call is not a virtual world of putting ink on paper, which is significant to everyone on this call, because you're putting ink on paper every day. You're ensuring that ink on paper gets delivered every day, each and every day, despite all the challenges and opportunities at the same time. So, William, you and I have known each other, give or take, for about the last 15 years, starting back in the little area of Hilton Head, South Carolina, in the new production environment. William, when you were building a new facility with a new building, a new press, a new everything, and we were selling new presses at the time for Koenig & Bauer, and you managed to not only build a building, but find a way to put a press in literally a sandbox. If you know anything about the South, if you dig a hole, it's going to fill with water. So William and the innovative folks down there on the architectural side arrived at essentially what we called an inverted bathtub to pull off that press foundation, put a real room literally in a sandbox, and the rest, they say, is history. So that was little project number 1 with William, and then William moved on to Columbia, still with McClatchy, and I moved on to Mueller Martini. So I'm switching gears to the mailroom side of it. But through it all, since then, we've done a number of projects together. As you can imagine, William has centralized planning for McClatchy in terms of their circ and ad systems into the production planning systems through the inserting world, so that the right products with the right inserts are going to the proper customers. He has centralized facilities throughout the Carolinas, and as he just mentioned here on the call, State College, PA, so more on a regional basis. William, if I'm not mistaken, almost half the country now, if not more. Continued centralization within the Carolinas, just recently moving production from Columbia up to Raleigh to ensure the McClatchy footprint in the Carolinas and beyond that region is satisfied for Raleigh, Durham, as well as Charlotte, where you're producing in the former Dow Jones facility. So the most important thing for this group to know, and William, for you to know and for me to reinforce, is through it all, you've absolutely were steadfast in your performance as a customer, as a partner, as a friend, associate, always representing your company, but at the same time working fairly and honestly with Mueller Martini, with me personally, and with the provider partners in general. And with that steadfastness and the opportunity to raise my hand and say, hey, who would I nominate for this ING E&P Production All-Stars, I thought of you. So congratulations, William. I really appreciate everything we've had the opportunity to work on over the years, and certainly look forward to doing so for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor that, especially coming from you, that you made the nomination for me in this category. I guess it is. It's been a long few 7 to 8 years, and consolidations and downsizing, and rightfully so, to save as much as print as we can long term, is cutting the cost structure to get there. Vendor relationships, including yours, have been very, very helpful in getting this done. And usually, you know this as well as anybody, when we decide we're going to do something, we need it done yesterday. So there was a lot of decision process, but once the decision is made, people like Mueller Martini and others have jumped in and been very big players in getting these things done. One of the things I take out now is I get up every morning thinking, what is the next change, and what's that change going to lead to positively? Opportunities. If you don't think of it in a positive light, it could take you down a rabbit hole pretty quick. So I'm looking forward to continuing to perform for McClatchy and build my relationships within the vendor community, and continue to do as best we can.
Yeah, so basically what I do is try to provide great quality and keep the waste and costs down on what we're doing. We've got some other business brought in through Kevin and Matt, and then I just make sure that it all looks good and keeps everyone happy on all sides.
Geez, you're sounding very humble, like most production people. Just doing your job kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I was the one that nominated him. Maybe I should just talk just a second.
Yes.
My name is Matt Thyler. I'm the Director of Printing Operations at the Star Tribune, and I've been there for a long time. And Scott's been there almost as long as me. And we've like every paper in the country, we've been looking to bring in more work. And while we've been doing that, we brought in the St. Paul Pioneer Press, we brought in USA Today, we brought in a lot of other print jobs. We print the Washington Post. Every time we do these jobs or any projects to do any upgrades, it seems like we always tap Scott to kind of be our lead guy on the floor. Actually gets done.
I have been proud to call the Star Tribune my second home for 31 years. I started as a line cook and a cashier, and I worked my way up. I hand-stuffed papers in the 80s and a little bit in the 90s, and signed up to be a mailer trainee. So I've jogged papers, I have bundled papers, I have worked all the shifts, including the snowstorm of 91.
Oh, gee.
I remember that well. I've only been a machinist probably 7 or 8 years, and some of my duties are cleaning and maintaining our machines. I'm the eyes and ears, looking for problems, why it isn't running, trying to make it run better. I also am an operator. I take a press, work with Scott over the radio, known him for many years also. I remember him when he came through the lunch line when I was the lunch lady here.
That's right.
You've really seen everything in the operation, and that background of actually operating the equipment and stuff, moving on to being a machinist, you have an incredible advantage of knowing just what that equipment should be doing.
Yes, I learn something every day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't see something I've never seen before, and I soak it in, and I love working with the group that I'm at, and the team here is wonderful, just wonderful.
I'm President General Manager of the Arkansas Democrat Gazette in Little Rock, and Nick Elliott is our Vice President of Operations. Nick and I have been together since 1986. He came to work for us when he was 18 years old, right out of high school, starting in the press room immediately at the very lowest level you could be in the press room. And shortly, we realized Nick's talent pretty quickly and moved him to pre-press pretty quickly. He wasn't in the press room too long at that point. But anyhow, Nick worked for many years for us at night on the second shift, but it wasn't too many years in our pre-press area until he was running the second shift. He was our go-to guy for getting the paper out every night. But Nick did a really smart and unusual thing that a lot of people have the opportunity to do, but very few take advantage of that opportunity. And what he did was, although he was working nights, he had his days free. So he went to the University of Arkansas at Little Rock while he was working nights for us, and got his undergraduate degree in business from the university. And then he didn't quit, he kept going, and he actually got an MBA, still working at night for the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. And after he got that master's degree in business, we moved him, maybe after 20 years or so in production, we moved him into our business office. And he was in charge for 2 or 3 years of all advertising billing. And after he had been in that position for a few years, we realized that we had an aging group of leaders in our printing plant. So we allowed, and we asked Nick to move back to the printing plant, back to the press room, put on a uniform, and actually work on the press. And he did that for about a year. And after that, we named him production director. He had all of the pre-press skills. He had all of the post pre-press, the press, and the distribution area skills. And he was production director for several years. And about 2 years ago, we named him vice president of operations. You all have heard about the Democrat Gazette's iPad program. We get a lot of publicity on what Walter Hussman, our publisher, has created and allowed us to do. And, you know, people think of the iPad program as a conversion to digital that's going to do away with print. But what they don't realize, what they don't know, is how important print is to us today, because we still print a Sunday paper for the Democrat Gazette. We print daily rack papers. Nick is in charge of all of that, and that is where we're making quite a bit of money. It's not just on the iPad program. But not only does he do that for the Democrat Gazette, in the last few years, we've done what a lot of other organizations have done. We've eliminated our printing presses, our plants at our smaller newspapers. So Nick today is not only printing the Democrat Gazette, he's printing 5 other of our Arkansas newspapers. His job, as we put in this iPad program, his job's grown and gotten bigger. Our press runs are shorter, but the job is a lot harder than it used to be. And when we promoted Nick to vice president, it was a recognition of what an important part of our overall process he's playing. I couldn't be prouder of Nick. He's someone with not only great production skills, but great human values. And like I say, he and I have been together since 1986, and I can't think of a better human being, a better person, anyone I would rather work with than Nick Ellis.
Well, Nick, what can you say?
I didn't realize I was that old, but I guess I've been here for a long time. So.
Well, you got any comments on how you do it with people? I mean, obviously you have a fantastic team, or you've grown the respect of everybody that you've worked with.
Fortunately, over half our full-time people have been here more than 20 years. So it's not on a personal level. There's not much coaching there. We have some really good guys that are working for a long time.
Yeah.
We're trying to make the right moves at the right time, keep this thing going.
Joel's been with us since I think he was 12.
Almost.
But he started with us when we had our old Goss Cosmo and worked in the press room. Joel's currently our press room foreman, but that's his official title. But he does so much more for us. He coordinates all of our pre-press, the mail room. He works in there, making sure everything goes off without a hitch. And even though he's typically here during the day coordinating, he's the guy who gets the phone calls at 3 a.m. when things aren't working and makes it happen. He knows our press inside and out. We put our new press in 2002, and Joel, he is the go-to guy for knowing everything on that press, and he keeps taking on new roles. Like I said, he's been coordinating our pre-press as well, and and we look forward to him keeping us going in the future. I mean, he's one of our up and coming managers that, in the printing industry, you hear so many negatives, but we plan on being here a very, very long time.
First, I have to thank, Tammy and Ron, our publisher, for nominating this. I mean, it's not something I think about, coming into work every day. And when I started, like Nick before me, I started in the railroom, hanging. I started part-time right out of high school, inserting papers by hand. And from there, it was just, one job after another. You look like you're a good worker, maybe you can do this. Maybe you can do this. And I never said no, and I just kept moving up and learning new things. Always wanted to learn the next step. What goes on beyond this step, and how can I make it better? And now when I came into the leadership role, and just my own crew at the time, and when we were bringing Erie Times News on, and it was, yes, this is a big deal, and we weren't ready for it. Tammy's ready, we weren't ready, but people would get frustrated, and I was just, listen, calm down. We just need to keep moving forward, and this will all work out for us. We all learned it a lot from those situations. It definitely helped me being here with the company. I've been here 20 years now. I was in the install in this press, and when there is problems, I'm here. One thing that in the company we have a few dedicated people. I shouldn't say a few. Everyone that needs to be here is dedicated. People answer their phone 24/7. It doesn't matter. And we're in the door making stuff happen. One of the other things I do is I help service our commercial printing accounts right now. I never thought I'd do that. I'm not a salesman, but I did have a little bit of, selling appliances at Sears at one point. So I stepped in, and I do my best to try to bring new work in, but I'm more just servicing and making sure, more of a sales engineer role, making sure we can do what we need to do, and we can get to customers and not have a disappointed customer in that role. It's been a lot of fun. I really like coming in here every day. It's a different problem for me every day. hanging plates on the press and actually running the press, or if I'm sitting down doing the schedules for the next year for production. It's a lot of fun every day. I can't thank everyone enough for the opportunity they've given me here.
Okay, Ryan, just wanted to congratulate you on the nomination for the ING Awards, and Dennis Anderson nominated you and said that you had done some incredible ways of making the operation work and be able to take on additional newspapers and allow them to improve their bottom line and change the sort of fate of a lot of what was happening in the newspaper industry there.
Oh yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Dennis, for nominating me. Yeah, we just try to get the job done, try to keep waste low and keep quality up. I'm a real stickler on keeping quality up, and really want to do the best, put out the best product we can for our customers, and try to reduce costs wherever we can as well. But I've been working in the printing industry since I was 20 years old, and back then I didn't have a gray beard, but now I do. Yeah, sometimes, of course, for everybody, we all know that the printing industry can be a very stressful time, and taking on large projects can be stressful at times, but luckily we push forward and get the job done, and just figure out how to keep things going smoothly.
You sound like a true operations guy. You work better under pressure.
We have your chief executive, of Wick Communications, was it Francis? Unmute yourself. It's an honor to have you on board. You're down in sunny Arizona, and you make this guy work way up in Alaska for you. Is that the plan?
Yeah. Well, let me just say, first of all, it's an honor to be on this call and watching everybody be recognized for the hard work that they do in the production side and what it means, because it is so critical to the overall operation. And I couldn't be more proud of Ryan and Dennis and the work that they've done together. And what most people may not realize is that in some ways, Ryan's leadership single-handedly saved that state's newspaper. When the Anchorage Daily News went into bankruptcy, they had no place to print. And we had a tight window of 30 days to get that paper constructed on a smaller Goss community press. And he single-handedly led that effort with help from people from the ADN, but was willing to absorb the work for the state and for the people there. And I don't think that can go unnoticed. And I am very proud of our production managers in this company. They operate efficiently. They recognize the importance of what they do, and I could not be more proud of what he's doing up in Anchorage, not just for our own operation, but for other commercial print publications, and Dennis's leadership with them. So.
Yeah, I couldn't have got it done without Dennis's support. He helped me out a lot during that transition, so that without him it would have been much harder.
The facility that the Anchorage Daily News was being printed in was huge. We have this small press room in Wasilla, and people were coming by from the ADN, pressmen, press directors, and so forth, telling Ryan we couldn't do it, we're too small, smaller press, so forth. And Ryan just did a masterful job of getting that done while still maintaining the other commercial print jobs that we had. So Ryan, congratulations, and I'm very honored to nominate you to do this.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Let's hear it for the whole group. Great group.